Imagine sitting in the most important board meeting of your life. The room is polished, silent, and heavy with expectation. Every person around the table represents influence, power, and calculated precision. The air is thick with strategy, forecasts, and unspoken competition. This is a moment where logic rules and emotion is supposed to stay outside the door. Then it happens. A single thought cuts through the noise. Not a statistic, not a projection, a feeling. It arrives quietly, yet with enough force to steal your breath. Your chest tightens, your focus fractures. For a brief moment, every plan you've prepared dissolves into silence. This is the moment where ambition collides with something far deeper. Your mind races, searching for control, but your heart refuses to be ignored. The weight of responsibility presses harder than ever before. And suddenly, you are not just a leader in a boardroom. You are a human being facing the truth of what truly matters. This moment is not a weakness. It is a revelation. Leadership is often portrayed as emotional distance, unshakable confidence, and absolute certainty. From the outside, leaders are expected to be immovable, composed, and immune to doubt. Vulnerability, in contrast, is frequently misunderstood as instability or lack of control. But true leadership operates on a deeper level. Vulnerability does not erase authority. It humanizes it. When a leader allows themselves to experience emotion instead of suppressing it, they step into a more authentic form of strength. This honesty does not diminish trust, it builds it. In high-pressure environments where decisions can affect thousands, sometimes millions, emotional awareness becomes a strategic advantage. Leaders who acknowledge uncertainty demonstrate courage, not fear. They show that clarity is not the absence of emotion, but the ability to navigate through it with integrity. When a leader reveals vulnerability in a thoughtful and intentional way, it sends a powerful message. It tells the team that perfection is not required. Growth is valued and honesty is safe. This creates an atmosphere where people are willing to take risks, share ideas, and admit mistakes without fear of judgment. Vulnerability becomes the foundation of innovation. It breaks down hierarchical barriers that often stifle creativity and replaces them with trust and collaboration. People feel seen, valued, and understood not just as contributors but as individuals. In these environments, loyalty is not demanded. It is earned. True leadership extends beyond metrics, targets, and quarterly results. It is defined by the integrity with which challenges are faced and decisions are made. Leaders who embrace vulnerability show that success is not solely about winning, but about how one carries responsibility when the stakes are high. There is a profound connection between vision and human experience. Behind every strategic decision is a person grappling with uncertainty, emotion, and moral weight. Leaders who recognize this bridge between logic and humanity operate with deeper awareness. They understand that data informs decisions, but empathy guides them. Vulnerability allows leaders to engage with the emotional dimensions of their work. It sharpens emotional intelligence and strengthens judgment. Rather than being distracted by emotion, they learn to listen to it, extract meaning from it, and act with greater clarity. This emotional honesty fosters resilience. Contrary to popular belief, vulnerability does not make leaders fragile. It makes them adaptable. By confronting fears openly, leaders model how to face adversity with grace rather than denial. This transparency creates strength at both the individual and organizational level. Teams respond not just with respect but with commitment. People are inspired by leaders who acknowledge complexity instead of pretending it doesn't exist. They trust leaders who admit they don't have all the answers but are willing to search for them together. At the heart of this transformation lies human connection. Human connection is one of the most powerful forces shaping our decisions, behaviors, and lives. Even in environments dominated by data and logic, a single meaningful connection can change perspective entirely. In moments of intense pressure, the thought of someone who grounds us, inspires us, or challenges us can bring clarity where logic falls short. These connections remind us that we are not navigating challenges alone. Human connection fuels creativity. It motivates action when motivation fades. It heals when stress overwhelms. It sparks innovation when conventional thinking reaches its limits. These moments of connection can redefine priorities and reshape outcomes in ways no spreadsheet ever could. This influence extends beyond personal or romantic relationships. It exists in mentorships, partnerships, friendships, and shared missions. Each of these connections carries the power to shape leadership decisions and inspire bold action. They challenge assumptions and encourage introspection. When leaders allow themselves to feel the emotional resonance of these connections, their perspective expands. They begin to see beyond immediate outcomes and consider long-term impact, legacy, and purpose. Empathy becomes a strategic asset. Compassion becomes a leadership tool. Understanding becomes the bridge between vision and execution. These qualities do not slow progress, they deepen it. Organizations that value human connection create cultures where people contribute beyond expectations. They feel motivated not by pressure, but by purpose. In these environments, trust accelerates performance. At critical moments, it is often the heart that guides the mind. The most pivotal decisions are rarely made by logic alone. They are shaped by values, relationships, and the courage to acknowledge what truly matters. Vulnerability in these moments becomes a source of clarity rather than conflict. Leadership is not about suppressing emotion. It is about integrating it wisely. When vulnerability, connection, and vision align, leaders do more than succeed. They transform. They leave a legacy defined not just by results, but by the humanity with which they led. And in that quiet moment, inside the boardroom, surrounded by power and expectation, what once felt like a disruption becomes a turning point. Because sometimes the strongest leaders are those who allow themselves to feel. Imagine sitting in the most important board meeting of your life. The room is filled with polished confidence, sharp minds, and silent expectations. Power sits heavy in the air, wrapped in tailored suits and calculated expressions. Every word spoken carries weight. Every pause feels deliberate, and every decision has consequences far beyond the room. In moments like this, leaders are trained to remain composed, to be analytical, to rely on logic, data, and strategy. Emotion is expected to stay outside the door, neatly tucked away behind professionalism and restraint. This is the environment where clarity is currency, and vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness. And yet, sometimes, without warning, something breaks through. A single thought, a memory, a connection so sudden and profound that it disrupts everything. Your chest tightens, your breath changes. The numbers on the screen blur. For just a moment, all the plans, projections, and carefully constructed arguments disappear. This is the moment when ambition collides with humanity. It is the instant when a mind driven by vision meets a heart awakened by meaning. When the pursuit of success pauses long enough to reveal what truly matters. These moments are rare, but when they arrive, they carry the power to redefine priorities and reshape leadership itself. Vulnerability in leadership is deeply misunderstood. It is often framed as a liability, something that erodes authority or invites doubt. In reality, vulnerability is one of the most profound strengths a leader can possess. True leadership does not come from appearing invincible. It comes from being authentic, from having the courage to acknowledge uncertainty, emotion, and complexity in environments that demand certainty and control. When a leader allows themselves to be seen, not as flawless but as human, something remarkable happens. Trust deepens, barriers dissolve. Teams feel safer to speak honestly, take risks, and admit mistakes. Innovation begins where fear ends. Vulnerability does not weaken authority. It humanizes it. It transforms leadership from a performance into a relationship. It signals transparency, emotional intelligence, and confidence rooted not in ego, but in integrity. In high-pressure environments where decisions affect lives, communities, and futures, this emotional awareness becomes essential. Leaders who engage with both the moral and emotional dimensions of their work make choices that resonate beyond short-term results. This approach fosters cultures where people feel valued, understood, and connected. Hierarchies soften. Collaboration strengthens. Individuals move from compliance to commitment. Ambition by nature is relentless. It pushes individuals to innovate, to exceed limits, and to chase extraordinary goals. It demands focus, resilience, and often significant sacrifice. Ambition fuels progress and transformation. But ambition without humanity becomes hollow. When success is measured only by metrics and outcomes, the human cost is often overlooked. Relationships strain, purpose fades, fulfillment becomes elusive, even at the highest levels of achievement. Humanity reintroduces meaning into ambition. It reminds us that vulnerability is not failure, and connection is not distraction. It refines drive, giving it depth and direction. When leaders allow themselves to feel, their ambition gains authenticity. Achievements become more than personal victories. They become meaningful contributions that uplift others and leave lasting impressions. Balancing ambition with humanity means recognizing that success is not only about what is achieved, but how it is achieved. It means considering impact alongside efficiency and well-being alongside performance. This balance shapes legacies. It ensures that progress does not come at the expense of values or people. It grounds vision in compassion and responsibility. Moments of revelation often emerge from this balance. They arrive unexpectedly, breaking through routine and pressure with sudden clarity. These moments are not forced. They arise when the mind and heart align. In high-stakes situations, a revelation can transform perspective. It can challenge assumptions, disrupt habitual thinking, and illuminate truths long ignored. These insights often become turning points, shaping both immediate decisions and long-term direction. Such moments highlight the powerful interplay between intellect and emotion. They reveal that the most profound understanding does not come from logic alone, but from emotional resonance and self-awareness. Balancing mind and heart is an art. The mind provides structure, analysis, and foresight. The heart brings empathy, intuition, and ethical awareness. Together, they create decisions that are both effective and humane. Ignoring either side creates imbalance. Pure logic risks detachment. Pure emotion risks impulsiveness. True leadership emerges when both are honored and integrated. Leaders who achieve this harmony navigate uncertainty with clarity and compassion. Their decisions inspire trust. Their presence fosters resilience. Their influence extends beyond results. This balance transforms organizations. Innovation is paired with responsibility. Ambition is guided by empathy. Success is grounded in integrity. Ultimately, legacy transcends success. Achievements can be measured, celebrated, and eventually surpassed. Legacy endures. It lives in the people influenced, the cultures shaped, and the values demonstrated over time. Legacy is built in quiet moments, in ethical choices, in mentorship, in the courage to lead with authenticity when it would be easier to hide behind authority. When individuals prioritize legacy over recognition, their work gains deeper significance. Purpose replaces prestige. Contribution outweighs acclaim. In reflecting on vulnerability, connection, ambition, revelation, balance, and legacy, a powerful truth emerges. True achievement is not defined by milestones alone, but by the depth of our humanity and the impact we leave behind. Greatness is built not only through vision and effort, but through empathy, authenticity, and purpose. It is shaped by the courage to feel, to reflect, and to lead with both strength and sensitivity. May this perspective guide you as you navigate challenges, breakthroughs, and unexpected moments of clarity. May your ambition be refined by compassion, your leadership strengthened by vulnerability, and your legacy defined by meaningful impact. And as you move forward, remember that the most powerful moments often arise when logic pauses. The heart speaks and humanity leads the way.